Imagine this. It's the morning of February 23, 2013, in a city in northern China. A teenager is startled awake by a strange sound, like teeth chattering. He opens his eyes, realizes it's not a dream and that someone is actually approaching him. That boy's name was Duck. The night before, he'd had a typical argument with his parents. They wanted him to focus on his studies, but all he wanted to do was practice his drums. He'd skipped dinner and was just hanging around, frustrated. But what was about to happen this morning was far from a normal family squabble. The noise grew louder. Duck cautiously opened his door and found two strangers standing there, dressed in plain clothes but with incredibly serious expressions. "Are you Duck?" one of them asked. Duck nodded. "Do you know this person?" The stranger mentioned a name Duck had never heard in his life. Fearfully, Duck shook his head. "No, I don't know him." The stranger's voice turned grim. "He was recently arrested and named you as his accomplice. You need to come with us to the police station." A wave of panic hit Duck. He felt threatened. Then a thought struck him. He'd used a VPN the previous night to watch drumming tutorials. Was that why they were here? The two men led him to a car, and Duck, scared and confused, followed them quietly. But as they drove, a sense of unease crept in. This wasn't an official police car. It was just an ordinary Jeep. After about 30 minutes, the car pulled over in a desolate corner of the city, stopping in front of a gate set into a high wall. Duck's heart pounded. These weren't police. They had lied. He instantly understood that he wasn't going to get out of this place easily. This wasn't a police station. It was some kind of large walled compound. They escorted him inside. Once through the gates, he knew this was no ordinary place. A man approached him. "Do you know why you're here?" Before Duck could even think of an answer, the man continued. "You are lost. The internet is leading you down the wrong path. Your parents told us you're obsessed with online games and videos, that you're neglecting your studies. That's why you've been brought here for treatment." Duck was stunned. What were they talking about? He just watched YouTube videos of drummers. But he had unknowingly stumbled into a new, terrifying phenomenon in China: internet addiction. Back in the early 2010s, internet use in China was exploding. Young people were spending entire days and nights in internet cafes, playing video games for hours on end, lost in online chats. Their parents grew desperate, convinced their children were losing touch with the real world. In response, the government endorsed a radical new solution: so-called treatment centers. In reality, they were military-style detention camps. And Duck's own parents, believing their son needed this kind of intervention, had sent him to one. Duck was immediately plunged into the camp's brutal routine. He had to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning for grueling military-style runs and exercises. Breakfast was barely enough to survive on. On the first day, an instructor laid down the law. "You have no rights here. There is no escape. For those who disobey the rules, the authorities are waiting." The boys around Duck were all there for similar reasons. Some were genuinely addicted to gaming. Some had other issues, but many were just teenagers who spent a little too much time online. Here, they were all treated like criminals. One of the strangest daily rituals was the free massage. A few days in, Duck saw some boys kneeling at the instructor's feet, massaging their legs. It seemed bizarre at first, but he later understood it was a test of obedience, a way to learn how to please the instructors and survive. But the most feared place in the camp was a room known only as Room 13. No one spoke of it openly, only in hushed, fearful whispers. Never go to room 13, they warned. Once you go in, you'll never be the same. Duck thought it was just a scary story, until one day he saw a boy being dragged toward it. A moment later, he heard a terrifying scream that echoed through the entire compound. What was happening in room 13? An older boy finally told him the truth. They do a medical treatment on your brain in there, but it's their special therapy. They call it brainwashing. They think it will cure our internet addiction. The camp's chief physician was a man named Dr. Yang, whom some ironically called Uncle Yang. To the outside world, he was a respected psychiatrist. But to the boys who had been inside his treatment room, he was a monster. Duck slowly realized the true purpose of the camp wasn't to rehabilitate anyone. It was to break them completely. Anyone who rebelled or tried to escape was sent to room 13. Then one day, it was Duck's turn. He'd stood up for another boy who was being mistreated by a senior camper. The next morning, 2 instructors grabbed him. "You need to be re-educated," they said, dragging him toward that dreaded door. His blood ran cold. Inside, he came face to face with Dr. Yang. "Do you know why you're here?" the doctor asked quietly. Duck stayed silent. "You have rebelled. You broke the rules. Your mind needs to be fixed." An assistant placed electrodes on Duck's temples. Suddenly, a powerful electric current shot through his entire body. The pain was unimaginable. It felt like his mind was being sucked into a black hole. Darkness consumed him. When he finally regained consciousness, he was back in his bunk, every part of his body numb, a strange tingling sensation echoing in his skull. At that moment, Duck knew there was only one way to leave this place: complete surrender. He started following every order without question. He forced himself to smile. The more he pretended to embrace the routine, the closer he got to freedom. 4 months later, his parents finally came to take him home. He walked out of the camp, but he was no longer the same Duck. Those 4 months hadn't taught him discipline or skills. They had carved a hollow space inside his mind, filled with a constant gnawing fear that one wrong move could send him back to that hell. The world outside hadn't changed, but Duck's inner world was shattered. And this raises a chilling question. Did this dark chapter in China truly end? Or are camps like this still operating, hidden in plain sight? Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to